Hello and welcome everyone to this week's COT review. I'm Thomas from COTbase.com. Today we're going to have a look at the 21st COT report in 2015, and as usual we're going to start off with the changes in commercials position. So here we go. As you can see, we've got the Japanese yen on top of our list with a 36% change in commercials positions, 35 in large speculators, and a bit larger than average change in small speculators as well. If you look at the chart, this is a much greater change than average. It may actually be the largest change in the past 52 weeks. It is, of course, a bullish COT change signal. But moving on to the 5-year chart, we can see how extreme the market is. As you may see, we are moving away from relative bearish extreme levels pretty rapidly, of course, with this larger change. We're not at all-time extreme levels, but if you look at this past 2.5, 3 years time range, the past 5 years actually, you can see that we are getting much closer to bullish levels. We're not surprised to see that since prices are in a huge decline mode. If you look at small speculators, you may see that they are at an all-time COT extreme. They've never been so pessimistic about the Japanese yen, which is, of course, a bullish signal for us. Moving on to the Dow Jones, where we have a 23% change in commercials positions. Here we go. You can see the 23% change is not really such a huge change. We do see greater changes pretty often in the Dow Jones. So let's jump over to the 5-year chart and see how extreme it is. Really nothing unusual. I would say it's not a market where we have a solid COT signal that can help us decide the trade. Coffee is our next market. We have a 20% change over there in commercials positions. You can see the change size over here. Again, similarly to the Japanese yen, this may actually be the largest change in the past 52 weeks. So it's a pretty a decent COT signal. Of course, it is a bullish COT change signal, but moving on to the 5-year chart, we can see how extreme this market is becoming. As you can see on the charts, we are moving away from bearish extreme levels. So the last major COT extremes were back over here in the end of 2014. It was, as you can see, a pretty effective signal. But now, as prices have declined, we are getting closer and closer to bullish levels. I'm not saying that the level we're at is definitely the bottom. As you may see on this 5-year chart, we had greater extremes in the past, so we may need to wait a little bit more before we can state that we've reached the bottom. Moving on to large speculator COT extreme, we've got soybeans on top of a list with a 537 report extreme. So let's jump to the 5-year chart and see this extreme on a wider time frame. Here we go. No question, this is a large bullish COT extreme situation. The last time we were at such levels, you can see it was a good signal. It stopped the decline, but we haven't really seen a significant rally from soybeans. So we're again back to such extreme levels, and we may gonna have this rally start in the next few weeks or even month. Of course, it's hard to tell, but anyhow, the extreme is there. It's present in the market, so you should have your eyes on soybeans and try to find a good trading opportunity. Coffee, again, 75 report extreme. We talked about coffee, so I'm just going to show you it again. Here's the 5-year chart. Let's move on to corn, where we have a 68 report extreme. Here we go. And you can see it is a relatively large COT extreme, and on this 5-year chart you can see how close we are getting to this extreme back here in 2013. Although it is a bullish extreme, you should, again, looking at this larger extreme back in 2013, the effect of the signal was not that long living, but anyhow, it did stop the decline, and we are expecting this extreme to do that again. And last but not least, we've got the feeder cattle market with a 48 report extreme. Not huge extremes this week, but anyhow, you can see it over here. Commercials are at a larger extreme, 164 report extreme. And of course, this is a bearish COT Extreme signal that you can see. Of course, it can easily grow even to greater levels, especially in large speculators if you look at the chart, but even for commercials. And that warns us to be careful with any sudden move. This may have been just a rebound in the longer term rally. That may be the case. Okay, that is going to be all for this review. If you would like to have a look at other COT charts, don't forget we've got the COT charts page where you only see the COT charts. But if you'd like to have a more in-depth and detailed COT analysis, and of course the page that we're looking at is where you can do that. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.